What do we got ourselves? We got ourselves Maddox in the team with Kreisbet going to be going up first. On the team, we got Awesome, Broton, and Kiss God. And looks like Jesus already storming off versus Kreisbet off the bat. Kreisbet trying to see if he might be able to get himself a setup. Seeing the helping hand, Abomination Limb coming up for Jesus, gripping in the rest of the team. Not really what he was wanting to do. But the grippy hand doesn't really care. It's going to slap people around either way. It doesn't matter who it is. Kreisbet does burn a soul shape for the grippy hand. The 1.5 minute cooldown for 2 minutes CD. I think he should be able to escape the grippy hand every single time that has sort of reflect because Jesus goes in for a grip. Actually, would have still been a pretty good gap closer for Jesus either way. Would put himself out in the open so he can't dodge the succubus, but it would still been okay. Does go for an interrupt to succubus. Kreisbet actually can just cast into his face. Gonna be a Mortal Coil Fear Cancel setting up. Jesus does go for a Ledge Born out of the fear. Sauron is getting set up. Jesus does not have an interrupt for 4 seconds. So Kreisbet actually can just keep slamming damage into him. Hell, he can go for Cancel if he wants to. Trying to see if he can get a fear on Jesus. Does juke a kick. Jesus getting hit with a fear. No Lichborn this time. Big Casbo's to follow. Does go for a short grip to Kreisbet. Stun right after. Does land. It's going to be a big port for Kreisbet. Turning attention onto the succubus while he has some damage rolling. It looks like he's actually down quite a bit on health. He's going to go for Death Strike healing off of that pet. Lichborn down so he doesn't have any kind of healing. Flesh Cut is up. So it's going to give him a little bit of absorb. Whatever death strikes he can do is whatever health he can recover, which is not terrible. Does go for interrupt on the succubus C. That means Kreisbet can just come out and do some damage, or just wait out and recast succubus C exactly as he wanted. Get himself set up. Big old Casbo flying versus Jesus. Dark Soul stability stun around the corner. Does get the AMS of AMC at the last second. Fear walking him out of AMC with Incinerants only available for Kreisbet. Gonna do some damage to Jesus, but not nearly that much compared to a full-blown Casbo. Mortal Coil to follow. Does Kreisbet himself a setup. Instant cast flying. Just getting so much burn damage into Jesus. I think he's already set up for Shadowburn gameplay. It looks like he's going for a lot of instants. I'm guessing Shadowburn gameplay. Literally setting up for that PTR Shadowburn. Literally Shadowburn PTR. Yami is up next, throwing down a Shadow Crasher on the corner. Doesn't really hit Kreisbet. But we'll see if a Shadow Priest can maybe compete with the Destro Warlock, setting up a little bit of health for his pet. Not swapping out for the Fellhound. So he's not going to have that intro potential with the versus Yami. But then again, Yami can go for a lot of instants. I don't really know. Is that worth for Warlocks? Let's see if Succubus works out for him at all. Yami mounted up. Could get himself a decent setup. Could be just a quick stun into Kaiser. Trying to go for mortal for a little bit of a succubus. See around the corner. Yami getting hit with the curse of exhaustion. Gonna be a trinket out of the fear with a port before Yami can get dots on the Kreisbet. Does get some dots onto the succubus. Instant cast coming out to Yami. Just has to go for a stun onto the succubus. It looks like he's actually just going to burn down the pet ASAP, or at least keep the pet low. Succubus is seeing a Casbo around the corner. Yami gonna take a lot of pressure. That's gonna be a cataclysm off of that Shadow Fury. So Rod to follow, almost landing the Soul Rod by the looks of it. Yami recovered just a little bit of health and pulling the succubus back before that thing eats a dot. Silence reflected back at himself with turn in favor. Super unfortunate, but Kreisbet didn't really have anything to set up. I don't think he expected to get a silence off of Yami. I think he was trying to bait CC off him. Mortal Coil into a fear right after. Dots are up galore. Yami going in for big damage with Void Bolts and Void from going to be a full Inferno. Swapping out the pet to maybe get an instant, maybe get an interrupt onto Yami. Maybe even start purging buffs off of him. PI is up for Yami. It looks like the Vampiric Base is down for the count. I don't know if he combined PI with Vampire Brace. I've been seeing a lot of priests doing that as of recent. It is quite a lot of damage put together and quite a lot of self-heals. Try to see if he can purge off the PI. I don't really know if the PI was removed by the pet or it just fell out by itself. Yami find himself super low in health. Try to go for a VT onto Kreisbet. Almost going for a full Mind Game. Sounds like Kreisbet does get an interrupt on the Mind Games. Yami is under lots of pressure. Does go for a little bit of a health extend. I think with the battle of Stricken might be dispersed out of him though. That Casball is probably going to hurt. Disperse comes out. Let that Casball fly. Gonna have the damage reduced because of Disperse, and the extra healing he gets while Disperse is gonna be pretty good for him. Try to see if he might be able to get some dots and some pressure onto Kreisbet. Reflect is up and running. Yami try to get a VT up and running. Does he put a VT on Kreisbet? Did he put a VT on Kreisbet or did he reflect them to himself? Because he did go for a Dispel in between. Getting locked down on Shadow versus off of Mind Games. Trying to avoid the stun by Kreisbet as best as he can. That's probably going to be a stun. Yep. Connect. Could go for a Cataclysm around the corner. Actually, Kreisbet is just going to walk at him. That's going to be a little bit of that greater fade. Got himself dots at Kreisbet as well as the pet. Silence of Kreisbad, try to go for Wood Eruption, no interrupts available. Shadow Crash, not really going to connect with Kreisbad. Mortal if he hits him with the fear, fearing him away. Drake gets out of that fear. And looks like Kreisbad is still trying to maintain distance away from Yami. While at least Void Eruption is available, Void Form is available. Yami does have other cooldowns coming back up very, very soon. PI online in 20 seconds. Vampiric Embrace online very, very soon. Yami does have a lot of health caught up as well. Kreisbad can get some healing here and there, mostly through Hellstones, Mortal as well as Drain Lives. And as long as Yami doesn't let him play that way, as long as he doesn't let him recover, he is going to be putting pressure on the guy. Eventually, I think the Shadow Priest does rot out of Warlock. Even though Warlocks are usually all about rot and dot, I think a Shadow Priest does rot out of Warlock over time. Kreisbad better be careful. Might have to summon another pet. Having to actually funnel his health towards his Fellhound just to make sure that thing doesn't die. Mortal, Yami did Greater Fade, but a little bit late. Looks like Mortal was only mid-air as the Greater Fade came out, so he couldn't dodge it. But Kreisbad did get himself a little bit of healing. Couldn't combine any kind of CC right afterwards. Dots are rolling. DP is up and running. Shadow Fury trying to see if he can set up around the corner. Continue to heal the pet. And so far, Yami's dots on the pet translate to the damage of the Kreisbad. Gonna be an instant crash. Shadow Crash coming down. Kreisbad does have a wall for it. Is in trouble right now. Real big trouble. Shadow Fury around the corner. Does connect. Cataclysm right after. Doesn't have wall anymore. In a real bad situation. Has Reflect at worst. If you can reflect a CC, like a silence or stun, back at Yami, he might be okay. Try to go for a little bit of fear. Fear back from Yami. Has full eruption available. It's going to be Reflect up. Going to be Yami under a lot of pressure right now, though. Kreisbad somehow recovered all that health against a Warlock Hellstone with the Battle Master Stricken. Infernal around the corner. Disperse is coming out for Yami. PI, Vamp Embrace, and Disperse. All of those have been used all at once. And Yami actually could be in a lot of pressure. Could be in a world of hurt as a fool. Chaos Bolt coming out. Greater Fade dodging it. And this could be anyone's game at this point. Yami trying to see if he can recover some health. That Infernal keeping him too warm for comfort. Yami got himself a little bit of health. Needs those Shadow Mints right now if he can somehow do it. Does not. Does actually just bail. He actually just leaves. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, what? You guys see back because he left? Oh my goodness. Karapi. Oh, this man's ready for some sun, dude. He's ready for the summer. He's ready to go. Gonna be Kreisbad trying to see if he can bail the hell out of there. Gonna be hand of freedom for Karapi. Kreisbad really out of options of what he can really do. All he has to Reflect, Succubus CC, has himself Soul Shape. Karapi got himself, dude. He's ready. This man is ready for summer, dude. Ready to hang out with the girls and the boys in the sun. By the beach. Big fear thrown down onto Karapi as Kreisbad trying to see if he can just somehow put missed the Shadow Fury by a pixel. That was a little rough. But he's trying to see if he can put some clouds in that summertime fun for the Paladin. This holy warrior. He doesn't fight for justice. He fights for fun. Fun for everyone. Kreisbad, though, not completely out of the game. Karapi did go in a full burst, though. And Kreisbad survived a lot of that burst. He's not completely fully recovered, but he is still alive and kicking. And for Warlocks, that's enough. That's enough that you need in order to keep running and keep playing in the duel, dude. That's all you need. Carpet trying to see if he can close the gap. Does get hit with a Succubus Seduction, dude. Is getting distracted. He sees this target, but he's like, oh, hey, how's it going? Try to meet all the girls. All the Succubuses out on the beach, dude. They're going to be full Soul Rod. Karapi does have plenty of defenses to deal with. They're going to be a fear. Cutting him away from the pillar. Big old Chaos Bolt. Hitting him. Shield of Vengeance in order to prevent the damage from that Chaos Bolt, but it still just burned right through him. Just ate through that shield. Has himself Flash of Light. Might need to put on some sunscreen because Kreisbad just got a bit of fire rolling up, dude. Try not to get burned. Karapi, though, under a lot of pressure. Bubbler might have to come out sooner than later. Big heal for him out of nowhere. I'm going to guess maybe sipping up with the Kyrian. Maybe just a massive crit. Flash of Light into Word of Glory. Big old Kesbel gets set up by Kreisbad. Cataclysm around the corner as well. Karapi takes a lot of damage. Flash of Light is all he really has. Warlock ported on top of him. Mortal running him out. Probably going to use a bubble if he gets a really bad situation. Bubble does get used. Does go aggressive. A lot of Paladins like to use bubble and try to get as aggressive as they can. Looks like Karapi is trying to get aggressive. Decides, wait, I can't do that. Blind as Kreisbad does go for a big old port. Karapi recovering a little bit of Flash of Lights, but dampening is at 28%. Succubus around the corner, still ready to hit him with that Seduction. Anytime. Kreisbad just needs a good angle. Sometimes his Succubus trying to get himself a cast off. Looks like he's trying to. Does get it off. And the Paladin does not have a trinket to get out of it. Crossbolt is ready. Maybe Cataclysm around the corner. Shadow Fear as well. Cataclysm together. Lots of damage. If only Kreisbad had the line of sight of Carapi. Pretty sure even more instant cast abilities would be used. Hodge onto Kreisbad. Carpet dropping down, full wreck. Shield of Vengeance is up. Kreisbad throwing out a Mortal Coil, trying to avoid the Shield of Vengeance from Carapi. Paladin is essentially out of all defenses after this. He is recovering a lot of health. Wings is still huge for him. Using that Wings to heal himself as much as possible. But past that Shield of Vengeance, once Wings dissipate, there's not really a lot he can do. Unless he has himself an answer, there's not really much he can do. Big Ocasable Cataclysm ball out in the open, no line of sight this time. Kreisbad doesn't have to worry about the Instacast not being able to go off. Just throwing out incinerates with whatever Instacast he can. And Lumberjack Carapi does go down. Defile Sheeps is going to be up next as the Necrolord Monkus. Have we had Deafy Ships? What do I call it? Defile Sheeps. Have we had Deafy in here? Necrolord Monk is not a common playstyle for PvP, let alone Windwalker Monks for that matter. Let alone Monks for that matter, really. It's not a bad playstyle. I think it's really cool. I just not something you see often. Definitely get him with a second CC, but this man, look, dude, he's ready. He's ready to go, dude. He got himself the full rogue set with the tabard from Demon Hunters, throwing down the brew onto Kreisbad. Could be lots of damage. Try to see if he can get away from the images. Defi does need to catch up to Kreisbad immediately. One of the images is on Kreisbad. The other one's still making his rounds over. Kreisbad does get himself a gateway, trying to stay away from the damage of Defi. No Zuen has been used by Defi though, so if he waits out for the next go with Zuen, he will definitely have himself quite a massive amount of damage. Try to see if he can Dragon Kick to reconnect. Kreisbad with Mortal Coil back up, Infernal back up. If he has a good set of Chain of CC, Trinket for Defi out of the Succubus CC. Mortal Coil sets up Defi in a situation where he might just eat CC chains back to back. If Kreisbad just hit him with some stones back to back with a full Chaos Bolt, he will be in a bad trouble. Karma up really early. Kreisbad just needs to wait out the Karma at this point. Defi missing an Electric, but Kreisbad does go for a port. Defi has himself a Flesh Card up and running. Should be able to at least get himself a bit of a shield. Vivifies are gonna be able to catch him back up a little by little. And Kreisbad still hold on to that Infernal. Didn't get to use Dark Soul Instability for damage, but did use it to force out Karma out of Defi, who was a little bit careful. Who was aware, like, hey, this is probably not gonna go well for me unless I pop something. Another Succubus CC. Kreisbad just staring at him. If he goes for a big old go, he could do it. Needs to burn through that full Fleshcraft shield, drop it down Infernal with a Mortal Coil right after, Fear to follow. And a Chaos Ball flying right after, Shadow Fury up next, another Chaos Ball to follow. Could that be it? Another Fury right after, in cap by Defi. Trying to see if he might be able to survive. Did he just drop a the brew on himself to try to get whatever healing else he could? I think he just popped a brew. Yep, he did pop a brew on himself. It looked like he did pop a brew on himself. Trying to see whatever healing he can get himself right now. That's actually no health. Maybe this cast for Kreisbad is all he needs. And does take him out. Copy Finn, the last one left on Team 2. On the Team Alliance versus Kreisbad. Copy and Kreisbad, man. Those two go back and forth a bit. Those two go back and forth. Copy Finn has won some duels. Kreisbad has won others. And these two just lots of healing for Copy to be able to outmatch the Kreisbad's damage. The Kreisbad just needs to go for CC chains, but sometimes like Copy just has such an easy time recovering from them. Maybe not this late into the duel. 51% dampening probably is going to make it harder for him to be able to make a play. The Earth Elemental does get hit with advantage, but I believe it still provides Copy the wall or the extra healing that he needs. It's going to be the Flesh Cup with CC immunity for Copy, so Kreisbad couldn't really fear him out. Trying to see if he can hit Kreisbad with a stun, doesn't really get him. Sundering does come in. And Copy just gives himself a little bit of damage, a little bit of cooldown. Kreisbad taking a bit of pressure from Copy. Copy does have grounding totem. If you could ground him Mortal Coil, he'll be in a great spot. Zap from a mile away into Kreisbad. Again, Mortal Coil needs to be able to grind it. If you can ground it, he'll be in a great spot. Dropping down totems, just somehow needs to catch up. Mortal Coil out of Kreisbad is going to be really, really bad. Trying to get himself a heal in between. Kreisbad got himself a Battle Master Trinket with a little bit of whatever health he can. And Kreisbad looks like he doesn't really have too much that he can really work off of heals. Copy better be really, really careful. Succubus see behind him. Grounded Totem does come down. Kreisbad can't go for Mortal Coil now that he knows Grounded Totem is out. Unless Copy Finn goes for a Trinket, going to be mortal into a Fear, running him super far away. Does Copy have the mobility to catch up? Ghosts are down. Ascendance is available if he needs it. Try to see if he can get himself whatever healing he can. Does have the Succubus to at least keep doing damage to it and get Maelstrom from. Maelstrom is going to buff up the amount of healing he can do to himself. So he's still not in a terrible position. The totem for Kreisbad is going to give him extra soul shards as he casts Incinerate into it. And Copy is recovering a little bit of health. Mortal is getting hit with incinerates for Kreisbad, which is not bad for him at all. Fear up next for Copy. Does Trinket out of it. Didn't have a tremor for it by the looks of it. Very interesting. Kreisbad did use the port, trying to avoid the stun totem off of the grounding. That's going to be big ascendance available for Copy. Kreisbad goes for Soul Shape immediately. So Copy is going to have to find a way to catch up to Kreisbad. Does hit him with a Wind Strike, it looked like. Maybe a couple autos. Demonic Gateway is reset up. Kreisbad throws a Mortal Coil, a Copy Fin, and a Fear right after. Hits him with a Curse, Exhaustion immediately. Chaos Bolt coming up next. Does Copy even have anything for it? Wall this off. Try to see if he can get himself a heal. Does get himself a smallest heal. Barely any health available though. Healing Surges are coming out. Does have the pet to maybe get some Maelstrom off of. And he is still under a lot of pressure. Could still be in a really bad spot. Resetting up his totems. Versus Kreisbad. Fleshcraft up and running. Does get interrupted on that. Fleshcraft got himself the smallest shield ever. Might be still okay. Infernal coming down with a Shadow Fear after. Fear to fall into Copy. And he has no defenses, no offenses, no nothing. Whatever healing you can get is whatever healing you can get. Sunder onto Kreisbad, but the conflagrations. What can you really do? 1v4? Was it really only 1v4 for Kreisbad? Is that because the priest left? That might have been because the priest left. Otherwise, I think it would have been a 1v5. That is crazy.